All right, welcome to the World Elite Podcast. It's the pot of your weekly unfiltered wrestling, and we are ready to go. Thank God it's Friday. Who doesn't love Friday, man? It's the weekend. Let's get it started. I'm your host, the one and only Mr. Marcus Hay, along with my homeboy celebrating 35 years of his video gaming. It's me, Mario. We got Jordan Johnson as well. Dylan Aber, guys, how y'all doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I've been doing great. Been a crazy week of wrestling. We got a lot of good and bad to talk about. Oh, Jordan, how you doing tonight?
Good, and you?
I'm doing great. And of course, we got a special guest. And I've been waiting to do this episode for a long time, but I let the cat out the bag a couple days ago on Twitter. We got someone that I've actually followed in the independent circuit, and I'm a huge fan of. And I'm glad we got her on here. She is currently the women's champion for Soar Wrestling. She's also worked with WCR in the past. She comes from the great state of Texas. She comes from Dallas. Please welcome. She's known as the Diamond Girl, or you could call her the Lady of Grace. Please, no. Still the Diamond Girl?
Why do I always have to introduce myself? I am the Diamond Queen.
Diamond Queen. I had to pick at you, honey. I had to pick at her. I'm sorry. I'm so excited to get her on here. I said I was going to play some jokes on her. But yes, she is the Diamond Queen, and she's the queen of all wrestling, and that's a middle finger to Charlotte Flair. So please welcome to the one and only, the Soar Women's Champion, Evelyn Carter. Welcome to the show, girl. How you doing?
Thank you, and I'm doing great, despite that little hiccup in the introduction there.
Oh, I had to pull some tricks on you, honey, because we were so excited to have you on there. But welcome. We're glad to have you. I hope you're doing great. I hope the injury is getting you're gonna get better. I know you suffered a minor injury, but hopefully we see you back in the ring again soon. But tell us how'd you become a fan before you got into the wrestling business, of course? Like what made you want to become a wrestler, and what did you love so much about it and become passionate?
All of that actually kind of happened at the same time. So of course, since I was 15, 16, I had always watched WWE. SmackDown and Raw. That was something that my best friend and I had always watched on Monday and Friday nights. And then, many years passed. And then, so this gentleman approached me at the gym one day, and I thought this was going to go in a completely different direction. It did, but he kind of started talking to me about wrestling. I don't know why he did, but he just started saying, yeah, you have a really good look. It seems like you'd be really good at wrestling. And I'm just kind of giving him a stink eye. I don't know why you think I would be good at that, but okay. And so it was a couple weeks had passed from that first interaction until I finally went to an independent show, which was with WCR. It was at Gillies. Yeah, it was at Gillies in Dallas. And, I get there and it was so electrifying. The crowd was so into it. The Von Erichs were wrestling that evening. And so you had all these Von Erich fans there. And I was just watching this, and I just kept thinking, why is this guy thinking that I can do this? This looks insane. And then I see the women wrestle. And I was just like, okay, yes, I definitely want to do this now, because I can do it 10 times better than that. And I had never set foot in a wrestling ring before. And so that night, I told myself, okay, I want to do this. I want to try it. The very first day in training, when I took my very first bump, that's when I told myself, okay, I have to do this. I don't know why, but that first bump just kind of solidified it for me. Yeah, I really like this. You are muted, sir.
I know. That was another prank I had to pull on you. But Dylan, you got any more to say about her start?
Yeah, no, whenever we were getting started before we went live, and we were even talking on Instagram last night, we talked about your injury a little bit. So for everyone watching, do you want to kind of fill everyone in on what happened to you?
Yeah, so it wasn't at anyone's fault. It was just a freak accident. I was training, jumped off the second rope, and my leg just did not like that. And it was so crazy when it all happened, because I'd never have felt that much pain before in my life. And I actually have a very high pain tolerance. And so when I felt that, the very first thing I thought was, oh my God, no, like I'm done, like no. And then, but it was like the pain just like kind of left like 5 minutes afterwards. I'm like, okay. A couple days passed, can't really walk on it. And I'm like, okay, this isn't that bad. I went to the doctor and I told him at first, I was like, hey, I need an MRI. Like, I know I don't have any broken bones. Like, I want an MRI. And he said that he would not see me unless I got an x-ray. Got the x-ray, and I actually have the paperwork here of all the crap that's wrong with my leg. And he's like, oh, you don't have any broken bones. I think you have like a kneecap subluxation. So that's just when like you land really hard on your foot and your kneecap just kind of goes out of place. It pops right back into place, but it still damages the ligaments. And so he's like, okay, give it 2 weeks, take these drugs, you'll be fine. If not, then you'll get an MRI. So I started working with my Muay Thai trainer, Ryan Gleich, here in Dallas, and he was like really helping me with mobility stuff and build up that strength. And I started feeling good until I got hurt again. Because stupid me, I had an upcoming show and I was like, okay, I need to test this knee to make sure nothing's really bad. You know, the doctor said nothing was broken, so whatever. And so all I did was run the ropes in a drill, and it happened again. I collapsed. There was a pop, and I was like, oh God. So after that, I finally went and got an MRI. And then after 3 weeks of not knowing what was wrong, I finally got the results. I actually got the call from my doctor 20 minutes before I was supposed to go on in the Memphis show at Remembering Black Legends of Memphis. And that's when he told me that I tore my ACL, I tore my meniscus down to the root, I damaged a lot of supporting ligaments, I displaced my femur, I had like bone bruising. It was a lot. And I remember I was on the phone and I was just like really shocked because if you see me walking, yeah, I'm wearing a brace, but you wouldn't be able to tell that I had all that wrong with me. And so I was just like, well, how in the hell is this happening to me right now? Like I everything in my life is going so good right now. Like, why is this happening to me? But yeah, so it's been a crazy month, but now we know what's wrong. And now I just have to try and get an appointment with a orthopedic surgeon to figure out the next steps.
Wow. That's extremely unfortunate. You know, we all wish you the best in your recovery, and we hope everything's all right with you.
Thank you.
Jordan, you got any questions for
her? Do you have a favorite wrestler?
Of course I do. Do you want to get more specific with that? Because I have like a whole list of people I look up to.
Oh, feel free. Name them all.
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm gonna name you like top 3. The first one I'm gonna say is, of course, he is the current OIWA champion, and that is Dante Smiley. Crime Time. He is the king of the Chaotic Kingdom. I look up to him a lot. He doesn't take crap from people. He's very, very motivating and a very powerful individual. He's definitely someone you need to be on his team instead of being against him, which Laurentis X will learn that really quickly this weekend in Arkansas. So I look up to him a lot. And also, he is also helping me with my knee rehab, and he's helping me not lose any of my strength in the gym. He is also one of my trainers. And that hurts a lot, actually. Now that I think, ugh, God, I'm so sore. So I look up to him a lot. Now, as far as extremely motivating, inspirational, there are 2 women I look up to, historically speaking, from wrestling. There are 2 women I look up to the most. The first one, and I look up to these women because we're actually like quite similar. I look up to Chyna and Victoria. I look up to these women because they're not the typical 5'4", pretty skinny, wear bikini, go into the ring, wrestle type women. These are very strong. They're very muscular. They're very powerful individuals. And I love that with wrestling. And that's why, that's what motivates me so much, is because I'm not some skinny little twerp. Like, I'm actually a very big woman, and I'm in there throwing people around. I would like to think that that's pretty inspirational for little girls that watch me wrestle. And so I look up to them because they kind of break past that notion that bigger women aren't pretty too. Because if you have ever, like, and I'm talking like back in like WWF days, if you ever notice, like, the bigger the women, the less attractive they were, and that's what they played off of. And so you have women like China and Victoria that come in here and they're just these overall like badasses. That's very awesome to look up to. And also, like, relating more recently, because of my injury, like, Victoria actually has like a similar injury. Like, she tore her ACL. She actually tore that during a triple threat match, and she continued the match and finished it. And so just thinking about all the stuff that they went through and all the challenges that they overcame, that's why I look up to them the most when I really have to think about it.
During your days at WCR, you've worked with some many names that were in the big leagues, whether if it was WWE or Impact Wrestling. Out of all the guys they had, which ones did you enjoy being around the most inside the ring and outside the ring?
Inside the ring, I enjoyed absolutely all of them because we were able to challenge ourselves. Any attitude I gave them, they gave back tenfold. So it was very nice. But during that time at WCR, there were only two that I actually like really got to like talk with a little bit more than I guess you would say normal. And that was MVP and Chavo Guerrero Jr. I actually remember my very, very first match, which was thrown on me suddenly. Thanks, Jerry. Was Chavo Guerrero Jr. was there, and he actually watched my very first match, and he liked it. So that was really cool.
Them Guerreros, they're special people, man. They're no matter how annoying Vicky could be on the mic, they always will hold a special place in our hearts. It's one of the most dominant, dynamic wrestling families ever made. So you got to give them all credit, especially even Chavo. I know people don't really give him much credibility, but he definitely a true pioneer, just like Eddie was. They were a tag team together. They were just magic. Loved him as a tag team. Is there any current members like in the big leagues now that you've worked with? Like, is there any women wrestlers currently in AEW, Impact, New Japan, Ring of Honor, WWE that you've worked with in WCR or SOAR or any other independent promotions?
Oh, of course. Well, this past weekend, I obviously didn't wrestle, but I got to meet Rache Chanel. I've worked Maddie Rankowski. She's got quite the trailblazing going on at AEW Dark right now. She's just incredible. And I also just want to mention that I have beat her twice. Just throwing that out there.
There we go.
So I've wrestled Maddie. Bert Vixen and I actually tagged with each other at SWE Fury. We were in a tag match against their current champion in Micah Madrid. So that was actually really fun. And my first coach, like the first person to ever actually teach me like how to wrestle, was actually Fuego del Sol on AEW Dark 2. He was one of my main coaches. Him and Montego Sika from WCR, they were my two coaches before I was introduced to Bumps and Bruises with SOAR.
Fuego del Sol, I've seen a couple of his matches on Dark, but if you watch Sammy's vlog on YouTube, he is such a character on there. He's so funny. And he's a family man too. That's what I like about him. Yeah. Hopefully he'll get that win. He'll get that win one day on Dark. I think he's got some type of losing streak. If you keep up with Sammy's vlog, I don't remember what the streak was, but like I hope like he ends up getting it one day. They should put him and Sammy as a tag team. They would make a great tag team one day. But Dylan, you got any more?
Yeah, in WCR, unfortunately, like you were telling us before we came on, that they're not doing shows no more. Now, is there someone in that promotion that you wanted to work with, but you didn't have the chance on working with?
I wanted to work with Marty Bell. She is the last person to hold the WCR women's title before before we just weren't able to run shows anymore. I would have loved to work her. That would have been great.
Yeah. Now also you now do you strictly stay in Texas for wrestling, or do you kind of travel more? Obviously not with the injury, but like do you travel to other states for wrestling as well?
Oh, I still travel with the injury. I mean, just a couple weeks
Mhm.
ago, I was in Memphis, Tennessee with sore. I mean, when
Okay.
you're the champ,
hmm
injury's not going to keep you from the ring. Sorry,
Oh, of course.
Oh, that's a pretty ass belt too.
I'm still
Oh
going to
yeah.
be there. But I have wrestled, yes, Texas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and I was supposed to be in Arkansas this weekend, but I am taking this weekend off for the knee.
hmm
But just those surrounding states, definitely. I've definitely been traveling a lot more with SOAR Championship Wrestling because
hmm
they have so many connections. They have like Chaotic Kingdom Wrestling, Southern Extreme Wrestling, Blue Collar Wrestling. They have a bunch of other promotions. It's all under this one division, which is the OIWA. And so I'm actually able to travel a lot with them.
Yeah. Now, seeing all these shows more towards the southern states, I wish that our state of Louisiana would actually wake up and actually book some shows in the state.
That would
Yeah.
actually be pretty cool to go to Louisiana. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
I do like NOLA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be careful out there sometimes. I mean, New Orleans can be
Sometimes.
fun, but you gotta.
Yeah.
It depends where you go. You gotta be careful.
I find that I don't have that problem because I am a very intimidating woman. A lot of people don't really like me. A lot of people don't come up and talk to me. A lot of people don't mess with me. So pretty
Yeah, Jordan, you got anything?
Do you have a dream match?
a dream match. Currently, actually, I've just been randomly thinking about this because I was interviewed through another podcast, and they asked me a similar thing, like, "Oh, if I could have any match," and if I could have any match right now, I would love to get my hands on Thunder Rosa at SOAR for this title in an Falls Count Anywhere match.
Wow.
That seems like that would be just amazing.
I'm about to email Tony Khan to make it happen as a fan mail saying, "Give us Evelyn Carter versus Thunder Rosa."
You got to give me 10 months at least.
Yeah.
6 to 10 months.
Oh yeah, once everything goes back to normal, where y'all can actually travel and don't have to do it in front of a half-empty amphitheater in Jacksonville. So yeah, I have plenty of time to send that email. I could just say, "Give us Thunder Rosa and Evelyn Carter, but do it in 2022 when we're out of this pandemic."
Perfect.
That's great. And speaking of you being the champion, tell us about like what was that night like when you took on Amber Rodriguez at Sorcade for the championship? Like, and if I'm correct, according to your Twitter, didn't you win this on your birthday weekend? By the way,
That was so Sorcade was the weekend before my birthday. So it was a cute little pre-birthday celebration.
okay.
It definitely kicked off the celebration week from my birthday. But that evening was so nerve-wracking. It was so nerve-wracking. And I will say, right before I wrestle anytime, anyone, anywhere, I am more excited than nervous. That evening, I was nervous. I was very, very nervous because Amber Rodriguez is the champion. While I may be more intimidating, she's also a pretty vicious woman. Because I've seen her matches. I'm not an idiot. I always do my match studies before I face an opponent. So I knew all her nasty little tricks. That didn't stop her from shattering my eardrum when she screamed bloody murder. But when I was getting ready, I was trying not to let her get in my head too much, but it was also the fact that that was actually the very first night that I wrestled for SOAR, period. And so I told myself, I don't care that this is a championship match. I don't care that this is my first time. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to beat her, and I'm going to win. And that's what I did.
And you did. And you're the champ. Congratulations, too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Was that did y'all do that match in Memphis or that was in Dallas?
That was in Dallas. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The following weekend was the first time I traveled to Memphis, which is disgusting, by the way. that following weekend in Memphis, I wrestled Kayla Cassidy, and then yeah, this was my second time in Memphis for the Remembering Black Legends. So, yes.
Whenever y'all go do shows like in Memphis and stuff, do y'all just go straight to wrestling and then just leave and go to the next town, or do y'all get to have a little good time out there and everything? Like, do y'all get to enjoy yourselves, or y'all just show up and kick ass and leave?
Well, first off, I show up and kick ass, but I stay because I'm the Diamond Queen and I always get the best. And the Chaotic Kingdom always gets the best. So we get put up in the best hotels. We get taken care of. We're not just going to turn and burn, as people like to say. No, we're going to take our time.
That's right. Yeah, because Memphis, there's a lot of good stuff to do in Memphis. I don't know why you're out there. Did you ever get to go have some fun on Bill Street, or did you ever get to go to Graceland, any of that stuff?
The first time in Memphis when I wrestled Kayla, I did go to Graceland. That's the only good thing I can say about Memphis.
Wow.
Yeah. The people there are very disgusting. They're very rude. Very rude. But this last crowd a couple weeks ago was a lot better than the first crowd. I will say that. I'll give them that. But it's still disgusting.
That you've been to this out the wrestling side for a bit. Well, you were at Graceland. What did you enjoy the most? Being in his house or being in his museum with all his records and everything?
My favorite part of that was actually his garage, where you saw all of his cars, because I am a car fanatic myself. And so seeing all the vintage cars, where there was the Mercedes, I want to say he had like a Bentley, and he just had all these amazing cars. And it's one thing that just kind of stood out to me the most is how tiny these cars were. Because Elvis was a pretty big dude, but yeah, that was actually my favorite part, is seeing all of his cars.
Did you get to see his pink Cadillac?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
I did.
I don't. They don't do it anymore. But I remember when we went over there, they used to let tourists like get 2 at a time, get in the car and take a picture in the car. But I got to do that when I went. I don't know if they still do it anymore, because I think over the years douchebags would fucking ruin So I think they stopped doing that. I don't know if they still do it or not, but that's another story to tell. Let's get back to the Diamond Queen herself. Look, I even got it right.
Good job.
That's right. Now I know you're from Dallas. I just gotta ask this. I mean, we might pick at you, we might not. Just be honest, no big deal. Are you a Dallas Cowboys fan? That means no. Okay, you're good.
I'm not the biggest fan of football to begin with. I much prefer hockey and basketball to football.
That's right.
I actually like tennis as well. I actually am a tennis player too. I've been playing that for the past 10 years.
I just had to ask, because we're all Saints fans, and we despise them. We don't know if you support them or not. You like them?
As much as I don't like football, I actually like the Saints.
Hell yeah, that's what's up.
Nice.
As Dylan himself, he's been a season ticket holder, what, 13 years? Something like that?
We're going to be going on our 16th year.
That's not including the pandemic where you had to sit out a year.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
That's
yeah.
I'll give you a golf clap for that. That's
yeah. Out of all the big league promotions, which one would you rather work with the most, or you would work with any of them? It doesn't matter.
I like to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm going to stay at SOAR as long as I can. It's easy. It's easy for anyone to jump on the train once it's going, but to get on it right before it even moves an inch, but you know it's going to go somewhere, that's when you know you have something. And SOAR has something. So I'm going to be sticking with them. And you can throw a contract at me, whether it's AEW or WWE. I still wouldn't accept it. I would stick with SOAR.
Wow.
That's good. Now, on your fan side, like being from Dallas, have you ever went to any of the shows WWE would go to in Dallas, or the one time AEW went up there?
I did go to the AEW show because that was want to say that was in Garland, and that was actually on another birthday weekend for me. So that see, I'm starting to see a trend here. Like the last few birthdays I've had have been wrestling related. But yes, I went to AEW for my birthday that one year. They came and they were in Garland, I think, and that was amazing.
Yeah. I've been through Garland, but like I never heard of the venue they were going to. When I heard they were going to Dallas, I was trying to think off the top of my head where they were going to go. And then when I heard they were going to Garland and whatever that arena's called, like only thing I know about it is that's where they've hosted state championships in volleyball in Texas. And I had a cousin who played over there for that. So
and
it was
also where
crazy.
they like have their graduation ceremonies or something. It was actually like a really big arena.
Yeah. Did you get to go to WrestleMania in Dallas in Jerry's World?
No.
No?
I did not.
Okay. I bet when you went to that AEW show, was the crowd like electric, like, or they're just kind of a mag type, or they felt like a true fan base type?
It definitely felt like a true fan base type. It really did. I mean, everything that they threw out in the ring, fans were just going nuts. And that's when you know you really have something good too. I said I'd stay with SOAR, whether AEW WWE threw me a contract. I'm not throwing shade on those two promotions. They're great at what they do, obviously, or they wouldn't be where they are today.
Yeah.
But I respect AEW. I love what they're doing. I think a lot of the talent there, whether it's just because I know them personally or I've met them before, I think they have a really good thing going. And it definitely shows in the crowd's reactions at these events.
That's great. Hopefully one day I'll get to go one day because they were actually supposed to come around my neck of the woods twice, back-to-back weeks, but that was when COVID hit, and then they've either canceled the shows or they're trying to reschedule for following year, so I haven't got a chance to go yet. Hopefully one day I'll end up like you and getting to go and be a part of that true fan base of AEW because I definitely enjoy watching it. I've been watching that more than NXT on Wednesday nights. I mean, NXT I have to catch up the following day because I just love AEW. I just love how different they are, and they're like a 2.0 of WCW, which I was a WCW fan growing up in my younger days. So
exactly, that's why they have it good because it has that feeling.
And just people will just say mean shit about them just because they sign former WWE talent. Like, I mean, I'm okay with it. It depends who it is, but like, I rather see talent come from other promotions. Like when they brought in Makihito from Japan for Revolution, I fucking lost my shit because like I was like, finally we got somebody on the roster that's not from WWE. And then when they signed Christian, I'm just like, I was okay with it, but then I was like, I'm just glad they brought somebody else from a whole nother world. They didn't bring 2 or 3 people from WWE at one time, but they brought 3 people in from 3 different organizations. You had Makihito from Japan, you had Ethan Page from Impact, and then you had Christian from WWE. So that was a perfect way to bring people in. You didn't just bring 3 straight guys from WWE. You brought them from 3 different worlds, and it made it perfect. That's why Revolution was actually a good night until the ending came with the explosion in the ring, or what I call Gilbert's entrance. But go ahead, Dylan, Jordan. I'll let y'all take it away.
Yeah, your nickname, the Diamond Queen. Where does it come from? You know, where did it all start at?
So the Diamond Queen was actually the phrase gifted to me by Dante Smiley. It was the night that we had the 2-ring Royal Rumble. I was the only woman in that battle, and I was one of the 4 remaining. The last 4, so 2 from each ring, were to go later on that night to a fatal 4-way for the OIWA Championship. Obviously, you know how that ended. Dante won. But I definitely gave those men a run for their money, for sure. And Dante was very impressed with my performance. And because I did him a solid a couple months prior when Sir Mo tried to do him dirty in a contract deal, he saw that I am a very respectful person. I'm very loyal. And that I'm very smart. And so he decided to dub me. He invited me to be the Diamond Queen of the Chaotic Kingdom. And of course I accepted it. Who wouldn't want to be a queen?
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. No, that was one I was just, waiting to ask you. That's something I wanted to know where it all started at.
Well,
Hey, Jordan, go ahead.
I look queen worthy. I mean,
Yeah, you got that right.
Great.
Well, what is your goal for this year?
My goal for this year now is to get better so I can wrestle by the end of this year. As I'm motivated now more than ever just to get back to being 100% and challenging myself physically and mentally, because that's one thing people don't really talk about. It's easy enough to get over a physical injury, but then you have to get past that mental barrier too. So I'm just by the end of this year that, well, I'm not hoping, it will happen. I will be 100% and I will be wrestling again.
Okay, my final question is maybe you've done it, maybe you're not. Have you ever worked did intergender matches? Have you wrestled men?
Yeah, in that fatal 4-way, in that battle royal, I was the only woman.
Okay.
Now, outside of the public's eye, I've beat up on plenty of men over at SOAR. And I'm all for women empowerment. Women, we can do whatever. We're very powerful creatures. I am a testament to that. But the women I've been wrestling have just let me down so much. They don't challenge me physically. And so I want to get better. I want everyone to know me as Evelyn Carter, a great wrestler. I don't want people to know me as Evelyn Carter, a great women's wrestler. And so if I want to get better, I have to wrestle better people. And the only way I'm going to get challenged is if I wrestle men. So behind the scenes, I've been beating up on a lot of men over at SOAR. In front of the scenes, the world has only seen me go head to head against those 3 other gentlemen in that fatal 4-way.
And even wrestling men, it just makes you bigger, faster, and stronger. Not just in the ring, but also outside as a person.
Exactly. And the fact that I'm already bigger and faster and stronger than most of them, they're going to have to catch up. I want to say, I feel like, and I say this with as much humble attitude as possible, I personally feel like I'm motivating these men to work out more, because I'm starting to see on Facebook and Instagram and stuff that they're posting more flexing selfies in the gym, and that, they're actually working out harder because they're probably embarrassed that I, beat their ass every now and then.
Now, when you go pose and flex, that motivates them. They're gonna be like, okay, damn, she's bigger than me. I'm gonna have to get bigger, faster, stronger, end up like her.
Oh yes, for sure. At a show a month ago, there was this gentleman. I don't even remember who it was. There was this gentleman standing next to me, and I was getting ready to leave, and he kept staring at my legs. And I was about to say, am I going to have to knee this guy in the nuts? Why is he looking at my legs? He was actually comparing his calf size to my calf size. And he was very upset because mine are way bigger than his. And then I just put him out of his misery, because then I actually did start flexing, and then he just felt really bad, and then he walked away.
Keep on doing what you do best. Put them guys into shame. That was awesome. Sure enjoy having you. But Dylan wanted to break down. Now Wednesday night was a crazy night on both shows, NXT and AEW. I got a full scoop I need to say on AEW, but Dylan's got a full scoop to say on NXT. So I'm gonna take it to him and give him his thoughts on the big moments that happened this past Wednesday night.
The cool thing we saw from NXT was that they finally introduced the tag team champions for women for NXT, and it was given to Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. Now, I say given, but they actually earned it. They won the Dusty Cup and everything, so I found that they actually deserved it. But I just hate how quickly they took it away from them. Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon won it from them later on that night. I don't even know if they even held it for a full hour, to be honest. But I think taking it away from them actually gives that opportunity more to Raquel Gonzalez to go after Io Shirai, who we once again picked to lose the NXT Women's Champion, but she somehow came away with it once again. That's still really the only scoop I got from that match. Later on, we saw Cole and Balor go at it again for the NXT title. We saw another appearance by Kyle O'Reilly. It was good to see him back. Now it sets up O'Reilly and Cole. We saw Karrion Kross towards the end of the show. Sets up Karrion Kross and Finn Balor. So TakeOver, that 2-day special we're gonna have a takeover during Mania week is just gonna be electric.
Now, I went back and watched it after Dynamite, and I'm so glad. I'm surprised how they kept their mouth shut on the internet because I had no fucking idea about these NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. So you told me this.
I
And
saw
like,
something about it.
well, when you said the way you texted to me, you said, "Oh my God, Raquel and Dakota are the tag team champions." I thought they just had another match with Nia and Shayna.
Mm-hmm.
But when I looked,
No.
I'm like, no, they're like, I'm looking, I'm like, I'm seeing NXT tag team titles, and they're like, yes, we got the women's tag team titles. It's basically the exact same belts as the NXT tag team championships, except the straps are white. That's just like the NXT women's title. It's our exact replica of the NXT championship, except the letters on the title is silver.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was cool. And yeah, I did believe they deserved it because, yeah, they won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. They got the Dusty Cup. Even though they were not successful over Nia and Shayna, yeah, it's time to make a change in NXT. And they do got a lot of great talent on that women's roster and throw in another set of women's championships. But I was kind of stunned how the two final teams went at it again, but then Shotzi and Ember captured them titles. I mean, I was kind of happy for both, but felt like they should have waited at least till TakeOver take those titles off of Dakota and Raquel. But it was a historic moment. The night they reveal the titles, they crown two sets of champions. And Ember Moon becomes the first NXT woman to ever be the NXT Women's Champion and the Tag Team Champions. So that was a great historic moment to add to Women's History Month, since March is Women's History Month. Of course, that's why we got the Diamond Queen herself on this show as one of many women we've had on this month. And I'm so glad she can join us. But Evelyn, give us your take. If you watched NXT or saw on Twitter about NXT bringing women's tag team titles to the Black and Gold brand.
I actually haven't been keeping up with NXT or AEW for the past month and a half.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, why should I have to? I'm a very busy person. Excuse me.
Yeah, Marcus. Shit.
No, I'm the one apologizing. I didn't know how that was going to turn out. Jordan, what's your take on the tag team title situation?
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
Now, I got to say, though, it's a good thing NXT's having a 2-night event for TakeOver, because the way NXT ended, I think we're looking at the two main events for both nights. I think Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly is going to main event night number 1. And night 2, I had no idea this was coming. It just ended perfect. After Finn retained, he just looks and he's like, "What took you so long?" And then out of nowhere, Karrion Kross is just standing there with his shoulders crossed, like coming to take back what's his. And now we're finally going to get what we want. We're going to get Karrion Kross and Finn Balor. I can't wait for that. But it probably won't happen. But do you see maybe Finn for once bringing back the Demon King, or he's going to wrestle him as the Prince?
I think you're taking taking a shot with that one. I think he's gonna come out as the Prince. I don't think the Demon King returns at all.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. I wish he'd bring the Demon King thing back, but I'm not big with that. I'm not big with that new TakeOver name, Stand and Deliver. I'm guessing it's gonna be in Orlando. They haven't announced the venue yet, but that would be legit if they do it in Tampa. Like, even if they got to go to the Thunderdome and do it, like, I figured it was gonna be NXT TakeOver Tampa Bay or something. No, it's called Stand and Deliver. So,
yeah.
But, I mean, it's still going to be a legit night. You know, they still got, another 4 weeks to build up for this. So, I think the way the night ended, that's your two main events for the 2 nights. You got Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Hopefully, it'll be like a street fight or something, no holds barred. I want to see some ass kicking in that. And then, of course, we got, I call it the dream match, Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross. I'm very excited for that. Hopefully Karrion Kross gets his title back that he did not lose. He had to forfeit because of an injury. I wish they could have did like Evelyn Carter. He gets injured, but they let him keep the championship.
Well, like I said, who else is going to wear this belt as beautifully as me?
No one.
No one. That's why it's not going to leave my waist. This belt is not leaving my grasp until I want it to.
Fair enough.
So, Dylan, you got anything else to mention about NXT before I bring it to AEW?
Not really on NXT. I know I wanted to talk a little bit kind of about something I saw earlier on Twitter with Andrade. One of the failed NXT call-ups. I know we're gonna have a show soon enough about that. And I'm not saying failed because he did bad on the main roster. It was just horrible booking. Something Vince McMahon's very known for, and for horrible booking. So if I'm an NXT talent, I want to stay on NXT. Triple H does excellent work on NXT, so it seems like that's like the dream being over there. For me, NXT is more of the main roster. They deserve to be called the main roster. Main roster, I don't know. They're horrible booking over there by Vince, and I don't know, some I don't like too much. But Andrade did take WWE out of his Twitter handle today, lost his verification status because of it, and it seems like he has completely taken the company's name out of everything. So maybe that's one way of showing that he did ask for his release. I saw something about that earlier today. And if he did, then good for him. And he deserves to be somewhere where he's actually, treated better. I think he deserves better, and maybe another company can show that.
And I agree. I mean, I don't remember the last time. Can't remember the last time I actually seen him on live television. But I mean, I don't blame him one bit. But it doesn't surprise me when you ask for a release and you don't get it. I mean, remember Just Incredible said that on his episode last week. Whenever he was asking for his release, and they didn't give it to him at the time in the early days. So, I guess with everything going on with AEW and all that, he's trying to keep all his guys. But I mean, if you're going to keep all your guys, you need to put them in their place. I mean, you need to do something with them. I mean, I can't remember the last time I've seen Andrade compete in a match, and it's probably been maybe October, November, if I can remember last time seeing him on Raw. So I mean, I don't blame him one bit. Now, where he could end up, I mean, he actually could end up anywhere. He could end up in AEW. He could end up in Impact, Ring of Honor, Japan. I mean, wherever would suit him best, they would actually treat him right. So, I mean, Andrade is tough, but I think the fact that we all know he's in a relationship with Charlotte, they're probably about to get married, and, Charlotte's like one of his golden girls on the show. She's like one of the faces of the company, and he feels like if he loses him, he's going to lose Charlotte. So he's trying to keep his national prize on that main card and on that roster, so that's why he's not releasing Andrade, in my opinion. Because if he goes, then she's going to go with him.
Yeah, because we haven't seen Andrade on TV since before Zelina Vega was even released. So, yeah.
See, now I love Zelina Vega. I was very sad to see her go.
Me too. She was great she can cut a promo. She makes a great manager. Like you can they can put her in there for something. I mean, even if she doesn't wrestle a lot, she can make a great client. Like could be a female Paul Heyman or something. Like I've never seen her make an error or cut bad promos. Every promo I've seen her do when she talked for Andrade and Angel Garza, it was golden. I loved when she talked. She was their voice. That's why they were the stars they were, because of her.
It's true.
So, but and I got a couple things to say about AEW. AEW was great as well, the whole show, but how it ended. I mean, you saw they were going to do the War Council of the Inner Circle, and we saw the return of Sammy Guevara, which I was in shock to see him come back because I didn't get what I wanted at Revolution, but he comes back still in favor of the Inner Circle, and he's like telling Jericho, and you need to see this. He sets a camera up in the locker room, and it would look like MJF was going to try and frame Jericho and get him out of the Inner Circle, and they were playing along, but the tables have turned for MJF. They looked like they were going to attack Jericho, and then they all turn around and face MJF, and Jericho letting the cat out the bag, like, you don't think we still talk to each other and shit? Like, we got you in the circle, and I'm going to get you out. He kicked him out of the Inner Circle. He shoved him. MJF's trying to act terrified, and he was saying that he never really cared about the Inner Circle. He said during this time he was building a faction of his own. Then the lights go out. Then we see Wardlow, FTR, Tully Blanchard, and Sean Spears cross the ring from the Inner Circle, and they all attack him. Before I get more on that, did you even see this coming? Like, when he said he was making his own faction, did you believe you would see FTR and Wardlow stand across the ring, or it would be maybe a group of guys you'd see on Dark?
Maybe a group of guys you see on Dark. I didn't expect the other one.
Because this was kind of genius. Like, I thought it was neato, because this is going to make him even more hated than he is now. Now, there's rumors going around what they can call this faction. Some people think it could be the Horsemen. It can't be 4 because there's 6 guys in the group. They had a little on Facebook. They had a little voting poll of like what you think the group should be called. Like they were saying he might call it the Pinnacle, maybe. I threw in the Revelation. I think it'd be called the Revelation because FTR stands for the Revelation. If you got totally with it, could mean that. But I mean, the only way we'll find out is next week on Dynamite when they mean their words. But you remember a year ago, we were supposed to get Blood and Guts, AEW's version of War Games with the Inner Circle and the Elite, but it didn't happen when the pandemic started. Do you think there's a possibility we could see the Inner Circle versus MJF's group in Blood and Guts, or maybe a Stadium Stampede, or what?
I believe we're going to see it. It's just what we're going to see it in.
I'm gonna say Double or Nothing.
Yeah, probably so, yeah.
I wish they could call it another name. Blood and Guts sounds more like a pay-per-view name than a match. I know you can't call it War Games. Tony Khan don't have the rights to that name, but you could call it something else. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion on that. But I do have I wanted to make a couple predictions. I know we got a lot. They said there's a lot of action going within the next few days. Next Wednesday, St. Patrick's Day, AEW's got another Impact special, but I don't have much on that. There's only 4 matches they promoted. Impact's got a big event tomorrow night on Impact Plus that leads the fate of their upcoming pay-per-view Rebellion, and then in an independent circuit, APCW that we promoted last month, they got their show coming up tomorrow. I was gonna bring that up, but I'm gonna do these predictions if Evelyn still wants to tune in on those.
Of course.
Okay, we'll probably start with Impact in first. Impact is tomorrow night, actually. They got Sacrifice, which used to be a pay-per-view. Now, they originally had all the title matches on the card, but then they added more matches today, and some are going to be good, but I know poor Dylan, I mean, he don't really keep up with Impact, so I might just quickly run through them. But he knows some of his guys, so I mean, we'll kind of just quickly run through them. I'll just say the match. I'll just give a name. If Dylan knows these guys, he can pick, but it'll mainly be between me and Evelyn. But on the match card so far, we got an intergender tag team match. We got Havoc and Nevaeh versus Tino Dashwood and Caleb with a K. Who would you take in that one?
I have to go with Havoc.
I'm taking Havoc too. Havoc and Nevaeh. I think since Tanil and Caleb been uniting, there hasn't been too much luck with them. Then they got another tag team match. We got Decay, Black Taurus, and Crazy Steve. They're taking on a team. This must be a new team. Reno Scum, Adam Thornstyle, and Lester the Legend.
I'm going to go with an underdog on that new team. Might be something different. I'm going to go with the underdogs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Decay just because I've seen them wrestle before. Now, this tag team match, there's this new faction that Eric Young started called Violent by Design. That's with Joe Doring and Diener. They're going to take on the unlikely team of Chris Sabin and James Storm. Now, Alex Shelley's been out for months. I don't know if it's an injury or if it's something personal, but after he was removed from Hard to Kill. So after that, we haven't seen Alex Shelley since. But Chris Sabin and James Storm, they're 2 former TNA World Champions, and they make a kick-ass tag team right now. So who would you take in Sabin and Storm versus the Violent by Design?
I mean, just going based off history, it's got to be with Storm because, they've been together. They wrestled together, and like you just said, they were crazy good together. So when you have that chemistry with a partner, whether it's partner or valet or whatever, can't really beat that.
Exactly. So I'm taking the unlikely duo of Chris Sabin and James Storm. I think they can pull it off. They already have good chemistry. They're both were tag team specialists. Chris Sabin was a Motor City Machine Gun. James Storm was a member of Beer Money, so they know how to work tag team. So that gives them the favorite. Then we got it's called a Hold Harmless match. It's some special gimmick match. I'm pretty sure it's a hardcore match, but we got 2 guys Dylan knows real well. I know Hill's going to throw his pick in this. We got Eddie Edwards versus Brian Myers. So, Evelyn, who are you taking in that one?
I'm taking Eddie Edwards, man.
That's right. Dylan, what about you?
Yeah, same here. I'm going Eddie Edwards.
I figured he would because Eddie Edwards he said one of his favorites in Impact, even though he doesn't keep up with it. And he's a very talented guy, so it could go either way. But I guess Brian Myers got a losing streak going on too there, just like he did in WWE. So I'm going to take Eddie Edwards as well. What pissed me off is him and Sami Callihan are my top two right now in Impact, and Sami Callihan's not even on this match card. That's what pissed me off. I love Sami Callihan. I love his attitude. So let's get to the now. There's going to be 6 title matches, but 2 titles are in one match. But we'll start. We'll start with the X Division Championship. We got TJP versus Ace Austin. Ace Austin to me is like a mix-up of The Miz and MJF a little bit. But that's who you got in that title fight.
I got TJP.
TJP. Dylan?
Yeah, I got TJP as well.
Same here. This title match, this one, I don't even think it's going to be close. I think we all know who's going to win this one. It's the Good Brothers defending the Impact World Tag Team titles against a team from New Japan. They're called FinJuice, and it's Juice Robinson and David Finlay, who, by the way, is the son of Finlay, not Hornswoggle. This is David Finlay. They literally look like a younger version of Fit Finlay. They literally look alike. So I've looked up FinJuice. I've watched some of their matches on YouTube. They look like a good tag team, but I'm going to start this one off. The Good Brothers, they might have to be the best tag team in Impact, especially if you're forming with Kenny Omega and Don Callis right now. Oh, the Good Brothers win this by a long shot. So what, Dylan, Evelyn, what y'all got?
I agree with that.
Brothers. Oh, yeah.
There. This one I'm kind of looking forward to. Some are calling it on Twitter a dream match, but you got the another great women's champion, in my opinion. The Knockouts champion, Deonna Purrazzo, is defending against ODB. So, Evelyn, you're the Diamond Queen. You're a women's champion. You should have some good take on this title fight. So, who you're taking in this one?
A champion's always going to support another champion.
And being a champion you are now, give us, what's the key to victory for the champion to retain her title in this? Give some advice. If you can give some advice to Deonna Purrazzo before this big fight, what would it be?
You just do whatever you can to win. It's that easy.
All right.
Easy as that.
Okay, Dylan, who are you taking? Deonna or Odie?
Yeah, I'm taking her as well, yeah.
Then we got the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championship. Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz, they're known as Fire and Flavor. They're going to take on Jordynne Grace and Jazz. Now, I didn't think Jazz was still going to be wrestling. She's been appearing on Impact. She competed in that tag team tournament. She had a great match with Jordynne Grace. But before I have what I have to say, I'm going to let you guys pick who's going to walk out as the Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Go ahead, champ.
That is so hard. That really is. Because Kiera Hogan, just like her alone, she is intense. She is so good. But then you have a seasoned pro like Jazz. Like, fucking Jazz.
Exactly. A pioneer.
I don't know. I actually don't know.
My opinion, though, I will say with 6 title defenses, one's got to at least change. And in my opinion, I think we're going to see a historic night. I think Jordynne Grace and Jazz will shock the world and win the Knockout Tag Team titles. So I'm taking the challengers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I can see that playing out then.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's going to be one hell of a fight.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to be tuning in as well on Fight TV, so I can't wait. Dylan.
Oh, of course, I'm going with Jazz and Jordynne Grace.
Yeah. So. Then we got the main event. It's going to be a title for title unification match. You got the Impact World Champion, the real champion, Rich Swann, taking on the self-proclaimed TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Moose. Now, the stakes are going to be high because the winner would not only walk out with both belts, but the winner is going to have a shot in the dark. They're going to fight Kenny Omega at Rebellion for both the Impact and AEW World titles and a champion versus champion title for title, winner take all. And champ, who you got in this one?
Now, I say this with no offense, because I've seen Moose in person. I've whenever I was with WCR, we did correlate with Impact on a couple shows. Moose, though, Moose is one of those guys where you just got, he's a very athletic man. But also, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. I don't see him walking out of that. Personally, that's just me.
Yeah.
Yes, so you're taking Rich Swann.
I am.
No hard feelings there, Dylan.
I think it only makes sense for Rich Swann to win because of the history he has with Kenny Omega. But I mean, it would be a good match for Omega to go against Moose as well. But I think I'm going to go with Rich Swann.
I'm going with Rich Swann too, with everything that's been going on. But I don't know. I'm kind of worried. This could happen, but I don't want it to happen. I do not want a triple threat match. I want a strictly one-on-one match with Kenny Omega and Rich Swann, or if Moose pulls the upset. I want to see a one-on-one, no triple threat involved.
Mm-hmm.
But we know what the outcome's going to be when I think it's April 26th when Rebellion is, or the 24th through the 26th. We know who's going to win that match. It's no surprise. I'm going to let both of you guys say his name.
I've been talking first this entire time, Dylan.
Hey.
My opinion, the second greatest champion of all time, Kenny Omega. My opinion, going to walk out of Rebellion.
Oh, yeah, Kenny's going to win, yeah.
And I'm not even going to change my mind when we do our prediction show for Rebellion. It's just going to stay Kenny the whole way. I said last episode, Kenny Omega's going to have at least 5 world titles by the end of the summer. But, speaking of a world champion, got to give a quick shout out to our boy Landon Hale. APCW's got their event tomorrow night, March Madness. He's fighting Damian Bennett once again. You got to check out his little hype video he did where he's walking out in the open, sending a message to Bennett. Is freaking awesome. Now we know the DDT's been suspended, so we wish both men the best of luck. I mean, Landon's going to retain it, hopefully. Have that. And our boy Tyson Maddox is fighting Big Bad Brian Brock. I mean, I got Tyson winning that as well. Have you seen his spear? That shit's more hideous. That shit is. It's not hideous, but it'll make a man hideous. Worse, more impactful than Roman Reigns is. My opinion. Wow. Roman Reigns got a dominant spear, but hell, put Tyson Maddox and Roman Reigns in a spear off.
Spear off.
Or spear versus spear tight. But yeah, but I mean, there's three other matches. They got a tag team title match. Those guys he mentioned, Exotic Youth versus the Good Old Boys. I never learned of these guys. These guys look old as hell. And then they got
I saw the picture.
Tokyo Monster versus the Nightwalker Jordan Kingsley, and then they got Zero Brandon Atkins versus Zua King. So that's Robert Gibson's promotion in Douglasville, and it's called March Madness. That's pretty kick ass. That's already got March basketball going all throughout the month, so that's pretty cool name to name your event, March Madness. So that's pretty sweeto. And then last but not least, on St. Patrick's Day, hopefully I'll be tuning in because I'm going to say this on a personal side. We are welcoming in a new member of the family on St. Patrick's Day. My sister is having her second baby, and she's due on St. Patrick's Day, so I'm going to be welcoming in my very first niece in the family. I'm an uncle of 3 nephews, and this will be my first niece, so hopefully she comes out in the morning. That way I can watch AEW at home. So
you really say it like that now? really
I can watch it. I can always watch it with COVID they won't let us in. We can't be in the hospital. So I'm hoping I'm gonna be standing by the hospital door until I'm gonna be standing by the window of that hospital just to see her from there until she can come home, because I know when my nephew was born last year, we couldn't even be in the hospital. Only one person was allowed in there, and that was her husband. And we just saw videos of her. When he was born, they just sent us FaceTime videos of him curled up in her arms or in the little baby bed deal. I didn't get to meet him until 1 week later. She was in the hospital for a couple of days, and when he first got home, that was when COVID was still very strict and everybody was worried. So only a few people at a time could go see him when they first got home. So I didn't get to see him until literally 1 week after he was born. And I had to wear a mask and everything because, I was still working during the pandemic. Even though I had a mask on, they were still working in case if I was in contact with somebody. So the first 2 months seeing him in person was rough for me because I had to wear a mask the whole time I had to see him. I couldn't take it off If I was holding him, I had to have it on. If I was in the same room as him, I had to have it on, even if I was more than 6 feet away from him. So it was pretty rough. Hopefully, with the luck of the Irish being on St. Patrick's Day, I won't have to have a mask on. I'll get to be at the hospital to see her for the first time. Let's get to now I said it wrong on Twitter. I'm always known for making screw ups. I put St. Patrick's Day Smash by accident. It's called St. Patrick's Day Slam. They're only promoting 5 matches on the card. Jay Cargill's going to be in a match. They haven't announced their opponent yet. It'll probably be a breakout talent star, somebody from Dark maybe, or someone from another promotion that is like a tryout match maybe. But they got Cody Rhodes versus Penta. I'm not saying Penta El Ceremieto. I wish they would let him still be called Pentagon. But this is gonna be one of them show stealers, I think. I'm very excited for this one. So I'm gonna take it to the Queen, like always, ladies first. But you got Cody versus Penta.
I don't like that they changed the name either, by the way. I mean, you always get it's as insane as what is it even now? Penta?
Penta El Ceremieto, which is like zero fear Pentagon, basically in English.
Yeah, I'm just Pentagon is one scary dude. But it's Cody. Like, I'm gonna go with Cody.
Okay. All right, Dylan, Jordan. If Jordan wants to tune in too, Jordan, you want to make some picks with this one too?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you go next, Jordan. Go ahead.
Cody,
Dylan.
I'm gonna go Cody as well. This is gonna be a great match.
I'm gonna pull Elite Corso. I'm gonna say not so fast all three. I'm going with Penta on this one. Wow. I mean, this could help Penta. I mean, this would be a big win for him. I mean, I doubt this is a heel turn thing for him, but Cody's kind of, I don't know. I feel like he's slowly about to downgrade to take that time off to be a dad. So, I mean, I'm just glad he didn't win that ladder match, but I think he's going to start slowing down. He's going to start maybe losing a little more, then he'll have his time off to go be a dad, which wish him and Brandy the best of luck as well. Then they got this 8-man tag team match. Matt Hardy advanced his little money group. He's got actually, it's a 10-man tag. It's Matt Hardy, Private Party, and the Butcher and the Blade taking on Jurassic Express. Yeah, all 3 members. Jungle Boy, I love Jungle Boy. Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt, and then the new tag team Bear Country. Now, who you got in this one, champ?
I mean, out of all those people, one thing I had a 10-person match. That's excessive. But out of all those people, like Luchasaurus is actually my favorite. So I'm gonna go with them.
And he's got a master's degree. If you watch Being the Elite,
no, he's so well educated. That's why I like him so much, because I'm also well educated. That's why it just works.
I don't know. I like all 3 of them. Marco Stunt, like I watched Sammy's vlog. Him and Sammy must be very best friends. He cracks me up, and he's from Mississippi, so he ain't far from us. From Mississippi. Then of course, who doesn't love Jungle Boy? Who doesn't love Luke Perry's son?
Yeah.
I love the Tarzan Boy theme song. I'm hoping to be at a live show where I can hum the song, and besides singing Judas off the top of my lungs. That's so awesome that Tony Khan bought the rights for that. Now that Bear Country thing, when I heard the name, I thought it was going to be a heel tag team, but no, they're a babyface. It's kind of weird seeing that, especially in that tag team battle royal. But anyhow, Jordan, what's your take in the 10-man tag?
I'll go with her. I'll go with her pick.
Jurassic Express and Bear Country?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Dylan, go ahead.
Yeah, same here.
Same here. And it's kind of obvious that Butcher and the Blade is going on another heel turn, because this next match, this is kind of going to be a show stealer I'm excited about. John Moxley and Eddie Kingston versus the Good Brothers. And I guess Eddie's going on this babyface turn after what he did at Revolution, which made a good example on Matt Hardy bringing in the Butcher and the Blade to still be a heel. Because like I said, I cannot see Butcher and Blade being a babyface tag team. So that makes perfect sense going with Matt Hardy and his little thing he's got going on. So this is the co-main event, by the way. I'm excited about this. Eddie Kingston and Moxley look dangerous together. Of all the shit they went through together, knowing each other real well, the shit they've done in the independent circuits and in CZW, I'm excited about this. Too bad the tag team titles couldn't be on the line, but we got to pick a winner in this. So, Miss Diamond Queen, champ Evelyn Carter, who you got?
I agree with you on that for sure. Just Eddie and Mox. I can see that, like, no contest.
So you're saying it's going to end in a no contest? Like, it's going to get more chaotic. The referee's going to have to stop it.
No, I just mean, like, no. I just don't see it being, like, a really big challenge for them. That's what I mean by no contest.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant it was going to get all chaotic and the referee's going to have no choice but to stop. Oh, yeah.
It could. That too.
And you got to admit, Eddie Kingston I think he's an okay wrestler, but that dude can cut promos. Like, I feel like he's not in character. I feel like that's the real him.
That's
like when he preaches.
Feel that.
Oh, yeah. So, do you have a winner in this?
Oh, yeah. Gonna go with Mox and Eddie.
Okay. All right, Jordan, go ahead.
Eddie and Moxley.
All righty. Dylan?
Yeah, Eddie Kingston and John Moxley are going to win this match.
Yeah. I'm going to pick Moxley and Kingston too, but I would not be surprised if Don Callis or Kenny Omega gets involved and gets the win for the Good Brothers. It could happen. I mean, my heart's saying the Good Brothers, but my heart is saying Moxley and Kingston, but my brain is saying the Good Brothers. Because you never know what Don Callis and Kenny Omega is going to do next.
Yeah.
And this is a good idea. This is the first time ever in AEW. They're going to have a women's main event, and what a better time to do it than in month of March being Women's History Month. But we got Dr. Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa in the first ever women's main event in AEW, and it will be an unsanctioned, anything goes, lights out match. So.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
I got to go with Thunder Rosa on that one. Anything goes? Yeah.
Yeah, she might even take that crutch from Rep. She can use that crutch Rebel's been using.
Mm-hmm.
Anything goes. Jordan.
Brent Baker.
Okay, so you're giving her 3 wins in a row against Thunder. All right, Dylan.
I got Thunder Rosa. I just love her style of wrestling. So yeah, I'm gonna go with her.
I'm going with her too. She's finally gonna get that win because I can understand the loss at Beach Break, but I didn't expect them to lose that tag team match on the buy-in of Revolution against her and Makihito. But she's finally gonna get that redemption. Anything goes. Rebel can get involved. She'll take her down too. Makihito could come out. Nyla Rose could come out. Anybody could come out. She's gonna take her down. Thunder Rosa gets this win finally, and I enjoy watching her too. Yeah. Hopefully they'll give her a contract. I don't know how long until her contract with NWA is going, but I would love to see her as a full member of the AEW women's roster because I enjoy watching her. She needs Tony Khan needs to get some shit worked out. I see her as a future AEW women's champion. Now on the Britt Baker side, if there's any woman that's going to take that title off of Hikaru Shida, it's going to be Britt Baker for the time being. The only way Thunder Rosa will take it off of her is if she's has a contract with them and not with NWA. But that is all I got, and that's about all the time we got tonight. Champ, thank you so much again for joining us. We hope to see you again soon. We hope you recover well from your injury and you kick more ass and you put the sore on all those wrestlers in sore wrestling.
Of course, that's what I'm here for.
That's right. Before we go, let our listeners and viewers know where they can find you on social media.
Oh, goodness. You can find me on Twitter at the Evelyn Carter. Instagram, it'll be the same thing, but _Evelyn_Carter. And you can also find me on Facebook too. Just type in Evelyn Carter and you'll see my gorgeous face.
All righty. Of course, the podcast, you can follow it on Twitter as well at World Elite Pod. You can follow me at Marcus Hay. You can follow Dylan at DylanJaber12. You can follow Jordan at Jordan_J2000. We're all also on Instagram and Facebook. You can follow the World Elite Podcast Facebook page where you can watch this episode of live streams, including our previous episodes. Also on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can subscribe to the podcast on all streaming platforms, including Apple Pod, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and the one and only iHeartRadio, and other streaming platforms. But until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and enjoy yourselves. Stay safe, and we will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.